Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. David Price has beaten Kash Ali on disqualification in the 5th round of their fight in Liverpool, but yeah, this one has been overshadowed by the way that it ended because Kash Ali tackles David Price to the ground and bites him, and it wasn't the first bite in the fight, and he also had a point deducted in this fight, Kash Ali, and the bizarre thing was the 5th round, where this one ended, was where Ali had his best moments of the fight, even looked to have David Price momentarily in trouble after landing some good work, and Price starting to look a little bit ragged, but then he lands a right hand as Ali is on the attack, and this is where this final sequence starts. So Ali, clearly rocked and hurt by this right hand from David Price, grapples onto Price, and basically just sort of tackles him down to the ground into the corner of the ring. And at that point, the referee waves it off, and it's not exactly clear what happened for a few seconds because David Price is on the ground. He looks like he's yelled something out, and it's been called off because Kash Ali has bitten David Price. You can see on screen here. Here is the evidence of the bite. So I was thinking, well, was it called off because of the tackle? But no, it was the bite, and it was announced in the ring announcement by David Diamante that it was because of the bite. There was also a bite in round 3 when they were tying up on the ropes. Ali was pushing Price back, really leaning on him, and he grappled onto his arm with a bite. It was just really bizarre. And in that same round, just 20 seconds later or so, deducted a point after, and this was after some warnings from the referee for rabbit punching. Constantly hit Price around the head, especially in that round. But this certainly has overshadowed the actual fight itself. This was a fight that David Price was winning, but as I say, there were a few moments of worry, I think, for a lot of fans in that 5th round because David Price, I kind of thought, he looks like he's starting to slow down, just, blow a bit through his mouth there. He looked like he was maybe gassing, and then Ali started to actually put it on him. And then it all turned around, as anything can in a David Price fight. We've seen it before. He can either, be on top and wilt, or out of nowhere, he can land something and change a fight. So that is David Price all over. But just bizarre circumstances here to end this fight, and Kash Ali clearly has just torpedoed his career. Coming into this fight, he gave it the big one, told David Price this, that, and the other, didn't really deliver on some of his promises, the pre-fight sort of talk that he'd sort of said to Price. But David Price, from the outset, if we just go through the fight, looked relatively comfortable, knew what was in front of him. He'd sparred with Ali numerous times in the Coldwell gym, and he didn't seem to sort of be too fazed by what Ali was doing. And that gave him some confidence as well, because the tactics from Ali was try to land to the body, especially jabs. There was the odd right hand, but he wasn't really sort of too offensively minded in the first couple of rounds, and that allowed David Price to work his way into the fight with relative ease, and he looked confident. That first round, second round, very even, but David Price seemed to be warming into his work. In round 3, he really started to be more aggressive, put it on Ali, and it was, it looked at that point, Ali was starting to wilt a little bit, as the commentators were saying. He's sending out some distress signals, and then obviously the drama sort of started with the bite and then the rabbit punching. And round 4, that was a bit of a sort of more circumspect round, but then it all picked up again in round 5. And that was when Ali did have his best moments for of the fight. Started to let that right hand go, landed an uppercut that was, sort of hurt Price to some extent. Same with the right hand. He had his moments. I know, and I think many of us would have got that feeling, what's going to happen here? Is David Price about to be out of here? Because he did look to be starting to be on the wilt, but I guess the fight or flight reaction sort of kicked in. David Price landed a very telling right hand, and it was pretty much all she wrote. And the bite just got Kash Ali out of there, and it was bizarre because, he's just completely torpedoed his career here. He will never be forgotten for that sort of, it was a complete bizarre ending to the fight. I just cannot sort of stress that enough. He's done so much damage to his career and reputation here, coming in as an unbeaten prospect, looking to take David Price's scalp. And in the end, Ali walks away completely disgraced, whereas David Price, it probably wasn't the performance he may have wanted. He had his moments in there, but he wasn't completely dominant. He looked okay, but if you were to pitch him in there with the Dave Allen, you might pick Dave Allen in that fight. It's sort of, David Price keeps talking about he's 1 or 2 wins away from a title shot or something like that, but yeah, I just can't see it. He certainly is still a big puncher, and you have to respect the power, and that was certainly something Ali was trying to do during this fight. But yeah, David Price is there for the taking for any, halfway decent contender. Kash Ali, who was unbeaten heading into the fight, proved his level, and it wasn't a very high level tonight. But David Price, for the most part, dealt with him okay. Sure, there was a few moments where Ali had success, including late in the fight, but ultimately, strange ending. What do you make of it all? Completely bizarre for me. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.